Well, good morning, guys, and while it may not look like it, the weather's been very nice this July in Arizona. Even though the sun just came out, it's a nice, comfortable 84 degrees, and I think it's time to knock out the rest of the work on this Cardinal fifth wheel. Now, if you guys remember way back before I started this job, I pointed out there was some body work, some paint problems on it, and it's time to get all that addressed. Now, unfortunately, because I know a little bit of the history of this, I know that this front cap was re-cleared and was not done very good, so I'd like to fix that problem, and you can kind of see how it's peeling up there. So by not prepping that correctly, we created a lot more work years down the road. And over here on the side, you can see they cleared over here, and that's peeling too. Now, I'm not going to be doing a complete repaint and re-exterior detail on this, but I think because that red decal's in bad shape and this silver one down here is in bad shape, it makes more sense to kind of just paint all of this color right here from the front cap, following that line right there all the way to the top, and that should give a very modern look to this, even though it'll be a little bit warmer because it'll catch the sun more. And we'll do the same thing on this side, starting right there. We'll paint it all the way to the top. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not a paint and body guy. I have painted a few times, but this is going to be way outside my comfort zone. But luckily for me, I have a partner, Tom, with T's Auto Body, who does extremely good paint work, and he's going to help me work through the process and help me out if I need it. And of course, since we're doing all that work, that's why I said at the very beginning when we did the roof, I wasn't going to finish sealing right here because the sealant would be in the way of doing the paint and body work up here. And yes, boy howdy, is that a dirty roof already. Now the front is pretty straightforward. It's just to be a lot of busy work. It's in the back where it's going to be a little bit more work to do. Now, I haven't given the whole history about this fifth wheel yet, but a good reason why it was here at the shop to begin with is in the back. The owner, like a lot of owners, had backed the fifth wheel and damaged the ladder that was mounted on the back right here. You guys should have remembered that. Here's the ladder right there. It's damaged down there. And of course, because this is a gel coat fiberglass rear cap, it did damage to the fiberglass there and down there. And that was supposed to be repaired and why it was supposed to be here. Now, unfortunately, that work got refused and I got stuck with it. And since I'm now stuck with it, I want to do what I think I would want as an RV owner. And the first thing is to get rid of the ladders. I think these ladders are incredibly problematic. They don't solve a problem, they create more problems. And while I know a lot of people like to use the ladder to store other things on them, these are expensive little ladders. And even though they might be rated to handle about 300 pounds of weight, they sure do flex quite a bit and move around even if you're half that weight. Especially because the treads are just held on with some plastic caps and screws. They're also an incredibly common place to cause a roof leak, where they screw down onto the deck surface right there anyways, because there's so much movement right there, you usually always get loose screws. I'm recommending, well, I don't have to recommend it because I'm doing the work. We're not going to put a ladder back on. And I really hope we start to convince the industry to stop putting them on anyways, especially because a nice telescoping ladder like this you can utilize at any point of the RV, and they're less expensive than that flimsy aluminum built-in ladder. And more importantly, on this one and a lot of fifth wheels, this has a back window on it. And while the usefulness of the ladder is debatable, why on earth go through the arduous task of putting a great big window in the rear cap just to have a big chunk of it blocked by the ladder? That's a beautiful bay window, and we should be looking at a beautiful mountain stream, mountain peaks, or canyon, or lake. And definitely not the back side of a ladder. So now luckily the clear coat isn't peeling on this, it's just the original gel coat on the outside. It probably just needs a little bit of wax. However, I will be left with these holes right there, which I'll have to address. We have this damage to the fiberglass right there, which you'll have to address. And because again, I'm cheap and I'm not a paint and body guy, My plan for the rear calf is to actually raise this paint line, because this is auto body paint. We'll raise it up to about here and then bring it all the way across to cover up the holes down there. The nice added feature of that is that without this white ledge right here, we won't get a lot of reflected sunlight back into the window. Should cool it down a little bit from that. And now the last thing you guys might be asking is, what about the holes up there? I have a plan on that. We'll save that for the very end, but it's a little bit sneaky, a little bit underhanded, but I think it is the best solution. Originally, I was going to go ahead and just paint the entire rear cap this charcoal color also, but I think that's a lot more work than necessary. And because, again, I'm not a RV paint and body guy, I think it's important to illustrate that this work can be done by owners. It just takes a little bit of effort. And I also want to point out that I think the RV industry is making us work way too hard to keep showroom quality vehicles that are houses. And I hope we can normalize the idea of making an exterior that's good looking, weatherproof, and resilient, that's good enough and doesn't have to go to a car show and try to convince people that this is some sort of a supercar. I think the industry's really caused some problems by putting decals on everything, slapping their name on everything, and doing auto body paint jobs and finishes that are very difficult to maintain on a house. So I'm just going to be trying to use some of the off-the-shelf big box store supplies to do all this. It's mostly just going to be sandpaper, elbow grease, and time. But I hope once we're all done, we'll have a RV that I can feel proud that I worked on and looks okay. My own personal house, and most of the houses here in Phoenix, just have a very rough texture, concrete finish on it that looks awful when you really think about it. Would not win any sort of car shows, and they paint it with really bad paint lines with watered down latex paint. So I'm not saying we should lower the bar that level on fifth wheels and RVs, but I think we should start branching out and accepting that these are houses and these are not supercars, these are not showroom vehicles, these are houses. So for me, the most obvious step is going to be to take off the dryer vents, all the lights on the front and the back here, take off the license plate, clean this up a little bit, and then start grinding back here to do a little bit of fiberglass repair. There's a little bit of spider cracking here. We'll try to address most of it, but structurally it's fine. That's just a gel coat that has a little bit of spider cracking in it. And then hopefully, while I'm waiting for primer, fiberglass, or filler to cure, I can start addressing all the decals that I need to take off. Some of them will be easy, and some of them are going to be very difficult. So let the teardown begin. This could be fun. And yes, for those people that are concerned about my health, I love my health too. I love my body. I will be wearing a lot of personal protective gear. So I will wear a respirator, I will wear gloves. If you see me without those, it's really just because it was easier to film it that way and then get back to work. It's hard to talk with a mask on. I did forget to tell you guys one thing. I was able to get my good friends Cassone's RV to mix up the paint for me just by taking this off and doing a camera on it, because they do have a paint bank, and I have about a full gallon of paint to use. So supply should be good there. And they were even kind enough to give me some old paint in a juice bottle that I can use as a drop coat so I don't have to waste so much paint when we're talking about painting the white areas right there. So that'll help hide the white color and the white gel coat as we paint the full cap. So that's just a quick little easy hint that if you need to get your paint matched, find something that comes off very easily from your RV that you can take down to the paint shop and have them run the camera on it. Sometimes it's the water heater door, sometimes it's a furnace door, sometimes it's something as simple as the refrigerator door too. And while I do accept, to all you real professional paint and body guys out there, those are plastic, except for the water heater door and the furnace door, that there may not be a complete and total perfect color match. It should be close enough for my needs, okay? It also gives me the opportunity to get rid of some of the broken stuff and the trash. That was something of an eyesore on this trailer too, including these broken lights. on the side over here. Of course, with all that being said, I'm not trying to make myself have extra work to do either. So I'll probably just leave these hanging and leave this back out of the way so I don't have to disconnect the vent from the washer and dryer inside. We should be able to paint around that, and besides, the whole thing's going to be covered with that cover anyways. And now I do want to stop and point out something impressive, I think. As much as I've been talking down to Forest River, you should see the sidewall right here. Just where the marker light was going to be. That's like almost 2 inches thick of solid plywood. This sidewall is very, very strong. So I think it goes without saying, there's a reason why it hasn't cracked right there on the sidewall. And we shouldn't have to worry about frame flex on this one either, especially because the actual frame down here is very strong and thick. And they built the sidewalls way over-engineered, unlike a modern RV would be. Which only goes to reinforce my belief that RVs were built better and stronger years ago. Now I think I forgot to show you, I did forget to tell that you can take down to the paint shop, and so now we know where the trash goes.